on, son.
Raphael on the track.
Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on, son. What up, y'all? This is Ed Love. It's time for Come On, Son, the podcast. Listen, man, I have Mr. Teddy Riley in the building with me. Sit back and relax. This is going to take a while, all right? It's the Come On, Son podcast with Teddy Riley. What can we say about this brother I'm getting ready to introduce to you? He is responsible for so much great music over a vast period of time and continues to do his thing. Mr. Teddy Riley is in the building with us, man. Yeah.
My brother Ed, Moni.
TD, what's up, my brother?
What's good with
What's
y'all?
happening, Mo? You got a few questions for Teddy, right?
Well, first of all, it's good to see you again.
It's great to see you.
Last time I was hanging out in his. First of all, the rooms that we get on the cruise,
Right.
nothing compared to what Teddy gets. Okay?
Oh,
But there's a reason why, because Teddy is like the musical orchestrator of the shows, like when he's on the cruise.
Right.
And Rage and myself, because you know I always run with my sisters.
Right.
And Teddy can attest to that.
Yep.
So we were in his room the last time I saw you, and we were going through the show.
The show.
Yeah.
I was creating the show in my,
Okay.
in my
Yeah.
room.
For the
You know what I
sisters
mean? I
in
walk
hip
with
hop.
the studio
Right.
everywhere.
So, since seeing you, it's good to see you again.
Likewise.
How's the tour going?
It's going wonderful. It is going absolutely wonderful because I get to switch now. I'll take off my Blackstreet shoes, put on the guy's shoes.
Got it.
Take off the guy's shoes, put on Blackstreet shoes, or put on the Teddy Riley and Friends.
right.
Which is what we have. We have a lot of shows coming up for Teddy Riley and Friends.
Now,
a
that
lot
can
of
go
shows coming
anywhere.
up for Guy. But now it's like I'm loving the guys. You know.
Uh-huh.
You know. Sometimes you want to just say, I just want to stick with Guy for a minute,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and then but mostly people are calling for the Teddy Riley and Friends because they get everything.
Oh, wow.
They get Guy, Blackstreet, Rex and Effect,
The entire
Como D,
experience.
Big Bub. So we all.
Today.
Oh,
Oh, my
wow.
gosh.
Oh, it's next week, man. I wish you had just that Sunday off. 'cause
Wow.
Just to even come out and see it.
Uh-huh.
And we're playing in the hood. It's 6,000 people.
Wow.
And this will be the first time Vegas see Teddy Riley and Friends.
Oh, my God.
That's so awesome.
That's amazing. Are you doing a residency there?
No, not yet. I don't want to do a residency until maybe after my book and one of the films.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean one of the films? How many films are in the works?
Well, we have a few. We have New Jack Swing, Remember the Time.
Okay.
Then we have Rooftop. You
Okay.
remember that?
Yeah.
So we have Rooftop with Gus,
Okay.
Lucy B, and everybody that's been to the Rooftop.
Right.
And then we have we're now in the works of really putting back together New Jack City too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What would that? How would that happen?
I have to tell
He's
you.
not
Yeah,
gonna
you
tell
can't
us.
tell
He's
me.
not
Okay.
gonna tell us. I knew
I
it.
can't
Okay.
tell you the
That's
story.
okay.
I mean, because
But
this
my
is
dude, you've been doing this, producing records since you were how old?
since I was 14.
14. How
Yes,
did
sir.
you get into producing? What's your musical background? Were you a piano player, a drummer? Or?
I started everything early. At 3 years old, I started playing guitar, and I realized that wasn't my instrument. Then I tried trumpet and went from one instrument and then ended up on piano, because that was one thing that I can pretty much get, and not even thinking future, that,
Mhm.
The keyboard would be the instrument that controls the computer and you can get everything done with a keyboard.
Right.
So me knowing that that's what I wanted to do, end up doing this and programming and doing all the stuff I'm doing and then becoming a traditional producer,
Right.
which is a difference between a producer that just need a drum machine, they need a computer. I don't. So that's what I started out with being in the studio with Kool and the Gang
Okay.
from Memorial Band.
Yeah.
And the Bayan family. That's who
Right.
took me around. That's my mentor. So it's Royal, Amir, Adele Bayan, Cool, and Khalees. They've brought me in the studio while they were recording Ladies Night.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a celebration. And I was there, and I was the tea boy, going to get the tea. at the same time seeing you at the Apollo
Right.
and seeing, and then messing around with Omar Chandler, God bless him, it's my brother-in-law,
Yeah.
who actually sung Joy and Pain, and I happened to get on that record
Right.
with Rob Bass. So I started back in the projects producing everybody and their mothers just from watching Patrick Adams and M2 and Al
Wow.
Rogers and Kashif. We were in the same building with
Oh
Kashif.
man.
So those were my mentors, and those are the people that I followed, and always wanted to do what they did. Yep.
How did you meet Dougie Fresh, and how did you do the show? How did that come about? That record got to be almost 40 years old, and it's still a smash.
A mutual friend of ours, LaVeba Mallison.
Okay.
We actually used to see each other because I went to IS 195, and LaVeba went to, I think, 136. And we used to just cross paths. And he never knew what I did. I never knew what he did. But he was that cat that knew all of, like, the goons and, the people. And it's like, yo, look out for that kid right there. So I was always the cat that he always said, look out for. And then finally, he introduced me to Dougie. We happened to go to the same high school. But how I knew about Dougie was we all used to go to Harlem World.
Okay.
The real Harlem World
Right.
on 116th Street, Lenox Avenue. And when we went to Harlem World, we would see Dougie, Larry Love. I was there when Busy Bee was battling Kumo D.
Wow.
I was actually there.
Okay.
And who else? Crash Crew, Disco 4, Funky 4 plus one more. And all.
Rest in peace, Greg Marius, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg, man, that was my partner. We had Rooftop Records together.
Yeah.
With Gusto, and we put out Kumo D. So just being around all of that and being in the parks and pulling out my Casio or pulling out my Curacao and doing some crazy stuff with the beatbox, I became that little music kid from Harlem.
Right. And Doug came to your house and y'all did the show?
He came to, no, we actually met at the school, just by LaVeba telling him, yo, Teddy go to your school. He's like, who's Teddy? He's like, yo, that's the producer who be producing everybody. And then he told me the same thing, and we wound up meeting at the school, and then we said, yo, come to my house. I told him to come to my house, and then he played this record for me on a cassette. And when he played the record, I said, he asked me, what should I do with this? I said, man, you got too many commercials. You gotta now, if you're gonna have those commercials, you're gonna have to put something to keep the people going while they're dancing. There's no way if you're gonna stop a commercial, people are gonna stop on the dance floor. So he said, so what you would do? I said, I would do something like this. And I had my DX, the Oberheim DX, and you know how you can screw off the thing and open it up.
Mm-hmm.
I tuned down the shaker and I tuned down the tom-tom. And when I tuned down the tom-tom, it's like, so it had that low bass, but it wasn't an 808 sound. So what I did was I muffed the actual point on that and made it sound like a bass drum.
Right.
And then I did the shaker. Shh, 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 shh. That's what kept the people dancing while they're doing the commercials.
Wow.
So that's how I became a part of that record.
Right.
But I didn't know anything about credits or anything.
Did you put the dan-dan-dan-dan-dan?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
You put
But
the Inspector Gadget on top.
What was on my mind was I just wanted to be on, and however I can get on, I got on.
Right.
Without even thinking about credits, like, on Rob Bass or anybody. I just did it, until Greg and Gusto, they were the ones who said, yo, we got to get your name on these records.
Right.
So
What was the first record that was a hit that your name was attached to?
Rap's New Generation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And then later on,
Generation.
Mary J. Blige sampled it, and I ain't know nothing about, going after people, which I never went after people for samples and using my voice like Vanessa Williams on Right Stuff. And I never, it was a compliment to me.
Wow.
It was a compliment.
You got, man, when did Guy come along? After Keith Sweat, right?
After Keith Sweat. I was actually mixing Keith Sweat's album.
Okay.
And we were at Power Play. Remember Power Play?
Yeah, of course I remember Power Play.
We were at Power Play, and Timmy brought Aaron to the studio. And I can remember when Aaron got to the studio, I said, man, I'm not, my mindset was, y'all want me to produce something, I'm good with that. By the time it was all over, the meeting was over, Aaron was like, yo, I don't think I want to be solo. If he's not in the group, I'm going solo. So I said, I didn't really think about being in a group, but I always thought about what Gene said to me. If you want to be visually seen, you want people to know who you are, you need to, do something. You got to do something other than produce.
Right.
So he made me join a band that I had before, which was Kids at Work.
Right.
He made me join that. So I thought about that and I said, man, my mindset was I didn't want to be back in a group. I wanted to be in behind the scenes and just make everybody's music. And because of singing Hey Yeah, you remember the Singing Hey Yeah record,
Yeah.
which later on became Don't You Know with Heavy D.
Right.
The record didn't do well because it was around the same time as Candy Girls. So Candy Girls just stomped that record out. So when that happened, I said, man, that's a failure. So that I stopped doing R&B. And I just did rap records. I did Spoonie G. I did B Fats and all these records. And everybody's
You did
like,
the
yo.
WAP?
Yeah, I did the WAP.
Wow.
And when I started doing those records, that's when Keith came around the block and he was like, yo, I hear you rocking these records out here, man. I'm gonna need you to do something on my record. I said, man, I ain't trying to do no R&B, man, because I'm thinking about failure.
Right, with Kids at Work.
Singing Hey Yeah with Kids at Work. I was like, yo, I'm not trying to do no R&B. He said, man, just try them chords that you play like when you was playing with the band, Total Climax.
Right.
I said, all right, I'm going to try something, but if it doesn't work, man, I'm not going to do it. So I went in. The first track I did was I Wanna.
Wow.
The very first track. And I just wanted something that was just unorthodox and different. And one hand is doing something and the other hand is doing this. So it's boom, 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 boom. So it became a rhythm thing with the keys and the actual chords and everything. And I said, man, this could be something. So I'm feeling good, like rocking in my projects, on the first floor. You remember, first floor apartment. I'm rocking and I'm just like, yo, this could work. So when he came to the house, because he called me 2 days, he said, I'm going to call you in 2 days. We ain't had no cell phones. Call the house, 662, So he called my house. I said, man, I think I got something. He said, I'm going to be there in a few minutes as soon as I get off work, because Keith worked at Wall Street.
Yeah.
So he said, as soon as I get off work, I'm going to be there. Check it out. And he came in and he listened to it. He's like, yo, this is incredible. This is it. This is hot. This is dope. I was like, all right, what you going to do to it? He's like, shoot, I'm going to do this. And he just kept doing that. And then we came up with Scene Last Night. Then I said, all right, take it. I made a cassette for him. He took it. He started writing to it. Meanwhile, I'm doing the chorus. I put the chorus down when he left, and I wanna. That's all. That became that record.
Wow. And how much of Keith Sweat's first album did you do?
Majority.
The majority of it?
Yeah. I was pretty much like with him, the overseer, the young ears in the room. Because everybody was older. We had Raheem from GQ and the guitar players. Everybody, Raheem played on the record. Fred McFarlane played on the record, Don't Stop the Love. And, And that was the thing, man. Everybody was the whole collaborative thing. And but, I Wanna was like the record, and then Make It Last Forever, and Deep Is Your Love.
Something Just Ain't Right.
Yeah, all those records I did. Yeah.
Bam, boom,
and the thing about it, truthfully speaking, I couldn't do that all in one key. I was doing it with two hands because my hands I was young. I had little hands. I didn't have big piano hands. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it.
All right, now on the first Guy album, Damien's not on the album cover.
Yeah, he's not. And the reason why, because, this was really Tim's group. He put this together. And truth be told, between him, Aaron, and myself, we had a chemistry. But I think with that chemistry, Gene didn't really like the closeness, even though he wanted us to be close, but he didn't want us to be close to where we side against him.
Oh,
So
okay.
he had to get somebody, and him and Timmy had words, and when they had words, Timmy was like, I'm done. In the middle of singing "You Can Call Me Crazy."
Really? We talking about
So
Gene
we on-
Griffin, ladies and
Now,
gentlemen.
I have to let the truth be told. It's many years later, and a lot of people didn't, don't know that the second verse is "I'll Be Sure."
Get out of here, yo.
Yeah, I'm the one thing in my years now. People's got to know everything because this is our legacy,
Yes.
and this is a genre of music that we created.
Yes.
Because as you know, I'm always a team player. I've been in groups, never went solo.
Right.
That's only because I'm a team player. So there's never an I and we for me.
Right.
I'm always gonna say it's us, because as Black people, I stand for my people. So I say we made this genre. We created something that, not anybody could say they created.
Right.
No producer out there could say they created a genre.
Yeah. New Jack Swing is a genre.
And
Absolutely.
it became something that you couldn't even get a deal unless you did New Jack
You ain't
Swing.
lying. You ain't lying.
So that's not only, Babyface in L.A., Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, we all just, separately collaborated on building this genre.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we need to, since they took R&B from us, we need to put that in there,
Yeah.
And I don't take the full responsibility because we were all like peers on the same records.
Were you surprised at how well Guy took off?
Very. No, but wait a minute. Let me tell you our first show. We got booed.
Get out of here.
We was out in Newark, right?
Uh-huh.
And we were just being guests of Johnny Kemp. God bless him as well.
This is after
This-
Just Got Paid was out?
After Just Got Paid
Okay,
came out. 'Cause
which Teddy
remember,
Riley
Just Got
produced.
Paid was supposed to have been on Keith Sweat's album, but it was too late.
What?
Yeah, it was too late because the album was mixed and mastered. Because me and Keith created that in the house.
Right.
And
You
we was
still
like,
living in the projects?
Huh?
You still
I was still
in the
living in the projects. Sure, I wasn't trying to leave the projects
projects?
until I knew,
Right.
it's time to leave. We got a little money, but we still kept the projects even when my father was there on 97.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we still kept that apartment.
Oh, wow.
So he lived there because, him and my mom wasn't together. She
Yeah.
didn't want him to live in the big house. He was like, all right, until 6 months before he passed, I got him and my mom to get back
Oh,
together.
that's nice.
But, where were we at? We was with,
We're talking about Johnny Kemp.
Oh, Johnny Kemp.
When
So
y'all first
Johnny
got
Kemp
booed, when Guy
Just
first
Got Paid
booed.
was supposed to have been Keith Sweat's. And
Oh,
then
man.
My Prerogative was supposed to have been Guy's. But it was too late. We always did all these records and I finished records in a month, 2 months,
Right.
and it's ready to come out. So when that happened, we took Just Got Paid, gave it to Johnny Kemp because he came, he needed one record. So
Right.
he was like, all right, this is our boy. Because, Keith was in the group Jamila. Johnny Kemp was in the group Kinky Fox.
Okay.
And I was in the group Total Climax.
Right.
And we were rivalry bands. So we knew, Johnny from way, way back.
Right.
When I first started, 15, 16 years old, playing with a band. So we gave it to him because he's our boy. And we gave Bobby Brown My Prerogative.
And that was a
because
Guy
we
record.
couldn't- Yeah, it was supposed to be.
So you got vocals of who's singing lead on My Prerogative?
Nobody. I just did the music.
Okay.
And when I did the music, Aaron wrote the vocals, the lyrics.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know that either. But, it's a whole lot, man. You'll
It
see
sure
in the
is.
film about what happened with My Prerogative, because if you notice, my name is not on My Prerogative.
We have just scratched the surface. I've yet to talk about Today. I ain't talking about Rex and Effect yet. I'm still at Guy, and we ain't even delve into Bobby Brown as much as we could. Why isn't your name on My Prerogative?
Well, when I got with Gene,
Gene Griffith, ladies
Gene
and gentlemen.
Griffin,
GR
who's
Production.
my godfather. Um, when I got with him, we were trying to dip and dodge, publishing company and all of the stuff, and he was putting it under his name so he can clear up my deal with Zamba.
Okay.
And I didn't know. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. And when it happened that way, I didn't even know because I was in the studio and so blind to the fact, that I was dug into, producing and didn't think about the business or where my name, why my name is not on this. And, even at some point, the first 100,000 records of Key Sweat, I wasn't on that neither. And then Gene was, at some point he was trying to put his name on that record, and Keith was like, "Nah, that ain't happening. We put Teddy name on that record."
Right.
And that's how my name got on the record afterwards. Because I didn't know nothing about getting credits and all of that stuff. So when
Or apparently too much about publishing either.
yeah, I mean, I
You're
didn't.
just a music
but
guy.
check this out. I got my first publishing deal when I was working on Kumo D, and we signed him to Jive Records.
Okay.
And actually, Clive Calder was the one who actually seen that I was the one doing all the music. Because when he came in the room and everybody was gone, I was making How You Like Me Now on the spot.
Right.
And he called me LaVeba because he thought LaVeba was the one making all the beats.
Right.
So I said, "No, my name is Teddy." He said, "Teddy who?" I said, "Teddy Riley." He said, "Where are you from?" I'm from New York. He said, "So you making this beat?" I said, "No, I make all the beats." He's like, "So do we have a deal with you?" I was like, "I don't know. You probably have to talk to LaVeba about that."
Oh, wow.
And then he called the whole staff, Ann Carly and all of them. He called them in the office and he said, "Somebody's getting fired if we don't have this guy on our team."
Wow.
And
So around the God time and the
this
Bobby
was
Brown,
before God.
right? Just before that,
Yeah.
around the Bobby Brown time, you was still in your deal with Zamba, and Gene was trying to circumvent all of that. That's why your name is not on
That's right.
My Prerogative and all of that stuff.
That is right.
Okay, and who came to you for Bobby?
Louis Salas.
Really?
Louis Salas and I think Andre Harrell gave Louis Salas my number, and he called me straight. He's like,
Because you had worked with Heavy D before.
"Yeah, Heavy. Shoot, I worked with Heavy, Finesse and Sequence, The Girls,
Right.
and when I was doing all that stuff,
This is all
Uptown. This is all
Uptown stuff. This
everything.
this is all we got our own thing. This
Yes.
is all of that great Heavy D music that you've done for him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then so this all this stuff is pre-Guy?
This is pre-Guy.
And then
Andre Harrell used to come uptown. This is how Uptown really came about, because Andre didn't have his deal yet. He had came uptown to figure out how we can finagle putting this thing together. Greg G, Andre Harrell, Gusto, and me. Well, Andre Harrell wanted me just to be the producer and not be a part of the partnership.
Okay.
Gusto said, "Nah, we ain't doing it that way." Greg G was like, "Nah, this is our partner, man. We can't do it this way." So Andre Harrell went and got Uptown himself.
Okay, so Uptown's supposed to be all y'all together.
It was supposed to be all of us together.
Wow, man.
But he still finagled getting me from them just to be the producer because, yeah, I had to feed my family.
Right.
It's just my mom, single parent.
Right.
So when that happened, I wound up going down to Chungking, Chungking, and cutting those records with Heavy, and then did Night and Day with I'll Be Sure, and then we started doing Ooh This Love, and then everything. Andre was like, "Yo, let's keep him down here."
Right.
So I wound up staying down there, and prior to that, this is how God works. Prior to that, we had an altercation at the rooftop where, we had guns to our heads and everything because they were jealous of Gusto, leaving the drug business and going into the roller skating business and all of that. So they were trying to get him. And when that happened, that just stirred me up. I saw my life before me and Timmy. Timmy got hit in the head with a 50 caliber.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And when all of that happened, we was shook. So when Andre was like, "Come on, come with me," I was gone.
What were they paying you like back then, Teddy?
Funny that it's for the whole Keith album, I probably made about $2,000.
$2,000 on Keith Sweat's entire first album?
Yeah, I mean, so I just wanted to be on the album, and anytime I needed money, Keith would just give me money.
What about Andre Harrell and all the Heavy D stuff?
Now, for that, Gene actually finagled the funds, and
as only Gene Griffin could do.
He would, give us money here and there,
Right.
but we didn't have salaries or big money to get houses because I was still in the projects.
Right.
Until Gene was like, "All right, we partners, bro," and I kind of went into the partner mode. So, all right, we partners. When am I moving? He's like, "All right, we're going to move up to Riverdale."
Right.
Remember what Kumo D used to do?
Yeah.
And we moved up to Riverdale. I'm thinking, I'm in a condo, and Heavy D comes to my house, and we doing Now That We Found Love. And no, we got our own thing.
Right.
I wound up taking that song from Rex and Effect, and that was a Rex and Effect song.
Wait a minute. We got our own thing was supposed to be for Rex and Effect?
All them songs were supposed to have been for Rex and Effect, but I wound up taking them and giving them to Heavy because I felt like Heavy, was a bigger artist. He was the overweight lover, the first overweight lover to come out.
Right.
And
no
so
Heavy. I keep telling
records.
people there's no Heavy D, there's no Big Pun, there's no
That's
Biggie.
right.
There's none of them without Heavy D's success because the Fat Boys were big, but the Fat Boys were seen mostly as a novelty act.
Right.
Nothing against them, but that's what they were seen at with the twist and all that. Heavy D was the first big cool dude.
That's right.
That ever came out that made it cool to be a big dude.
And made it cool for big dudes to dance.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, that's
So
why
wait a minute, you
I
had
gave
Rex
them
and
the
Effect
records.
in mind before Heavy D?
Because I had made these records for them. I made New Jack Swing. If Heavy would have came around New Jack Swing, he would have had that.
Wow.
But I had to keep something for my brothers because I made them stay off the streets.
Right.
Because they were hustling. And I said, nah, y'all going to get a pen and a paper, and y'all going to write some raps and put down some poems, I don't care, and put them in rhythm. Y'all going to have to do this. So I made them get off the streets because, my brother who got killed, Brandon,
Yeah.
they were, they were real street dudes.
Yeah.
Posse deep, they in trouble with everybody. And so we moved down to Virginia. Of course, we had trouble everywhere. But the thing about it was I got to do what God blessed me to do was get them off the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you remember when Teddy Blinn and all those guys used to come to my door. Will wrote No Diggity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all of these things, how we cross paths is the same way.
Everybody was crossing paths.
Yeah, everybody. Like so I did everybody and their mothers. I was the little music kid. When I seen my life before me, the dudes with the guns was like, "Yo, don't mess with that little music nigga."
Right.
So when he said that, I was like, "Wow, maybe I'ma live." But I can't see my guys, getting killed. Like Timmy was there, Greg G, we all on the floor like this.
Right.
So that there in a whole just gave me a whole new perspective on life, and that's what made me go up and work with Andre and started doing all these crazy records and that's the story of my Harlem life, making records for everybody and their mothers.
Yeah, you certainly did. Teddy Riley in the building with us right here on the Ed Lover Show with Moni Love. More with Teddy coming up. Teddy Riley in the building with us on the Ed Lover Show with Moni Love. So Bobby Brown had broken away from New Edition.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the New Edition story. We need to see the Teddy Riley story the exact same way. And then Lil Silas comes to you about Bobby Brown.
Yes, sir.
Bobby had already had an album out, right?
Yeah, he had the was it
King of Stage?
King of Stage, yeah.
King of Stage.
Yep.
But you got Bobby, it took Bobby to another level. Tell me your thoughts on Bobby when they first said, okay, I need you to produce Bobby Brown.
I just said, bet. I'm always like, I was like Mike Tyson. I'll fight anybody.
Right.
And I said, I'll work with anybody. Like, I went to go work with Boy George.
Uh-huh.
We'll get to that story. But Bobby, when he came in the projects, It was around the same time.
You still in the projects?
Yeah.
Why am I thinking you out of the projects around the
No,
Bobby
man.
Brown time?
You know what? Let me tell you why I was still in the projects. Because my mother kept saying, we're not moving out of these projects until we make enough money to move.
Okay.
And like back then, my first publishing deal was like maybe $20,000.
Okay.
So that wasn't enough. I said, Mom, we moving. She said, no, we not. We're going to save this money right here. We're going to pay this bill and keep this going for a minute until you make something big.
All right, so get back to Bobby coming to the project.
All right, let's go there. Bobby came in the projects the same time Lil Silas called my house. We didn't have the cell phones.
Right.
So he called my house, and Bobby came through the projects looking for me. If I was a criminal, I'd be in jail because the whole projects led him to my door.
Right.
And when he came in, we had already had my prerogative, the hook. We had that done.
Uh-huh.
With the record, everything, the track done. So when he came in, I said, man, we got something for you. And we played that record. And all he heard was, everybody talking all this, and that whole hook. And then we played the record. It was it. He's like, this is crazy. I gotta have this. And then our mindset was that we can't get it on the album. We might as well give it to him.
That was a guy record.
That was supposed to be a guy record.
Wow. And Bobby did what? 10 million, 11 million?
Shoot, about that much.
About 11 million on the first run.
Well, like I said, I don't take the full credit. You know, Babyface and LA.
Yes, yeah. They laced him.
They were the big brothers.
Yes.
You know, I just came in with my 2 cents, which was my prerogative, and was it I'll Be Good to You? No, what was it? Is it I'll Be Good to You? Well, I did a second song.
Right.
And those 2 records, you know, being on that album was a part of an incredible bed of art. And I don't take that. Those guys, man, with Don't Be Cruel.
Right.
Those are incredible songs, not just records. They're songs.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not. If they were sitting here, I would bow down to them too. But it was. Don't Be Cruel. Great, but it sounded like them. Mm-hmm. My prerogative put Bobby in a different space with everybody's head. From the video to Yo Teddy, kick it like this. It was what Bobby needed to say at that time.
Let me tell you
because
something.
of Break with New Edition and all the rumors about what he was like. Don't Be Cruel was cool. It was polished. The video with the 550s or whatever he had with the girl was cool. But that My Prerogative, bruh, took Bobby from, okay, that's a cool song to, oh, shit. That's what it took him to.
Right. Man, I get that all the time. You know, My Prerogative was one of the records that I feel is responsible for me being known as a producer.
Yeah.
And just because of the style alone. I didn't copy. I didn't do anything that was an influence of anything. I just knew I loved the funk, just like you.
Yes, sir.
And I just knew that that's what I wanted to do with that, and I gave my rendition of it. You know, I wasn't really a stone cold funketeer, but I knew that style. You know, just from me being a person that study music, like George Clinton. It's like
on steroids.
That's
right now. We talk about Bobby Brown coming to the projects. I can't even believe he was still in the projects when he made My Prerogative. That's blowing my mind right now. From the fact that was supposed to be a guy record. Where in the hell did you find Today?
Today,
my man Big Bub and Lad and all them from Jersey, from Inglewood.
Big Bub, Lee Drakeford.
Yes, sir.
Is my brother, you know, and one that he came, it was him, and it was another, it was like the guys, but one of the guys was replaced. I forgot his name, but Lee was one of the guys that came and worked with us on Guy and worked with us on everything. And then I basically, you know, that's my boy. I'm gonna put on everybody. If he bought Redhead Kingpin, you know, because they were all from Jersey.
Yes, sir.
It's like, man, I know this kid Redhead Kingpin, man, he's bad. So I said, bring them on. We're
And
gonna
do
put them
the
on.
right thing.
So
Yes, sir.
when when Bub came down, it was just him, and then he bought the group, and then it was like how Boys II Men came to,
To Mike Bivens?
Mike Bivens. I
You
put
gave him the
them
group.
on.
You gave him the name today?
Actually, I think Gene did.
Okay.
I think Gene did because we wanted like the one name groups,
Uh-huh.
like Guy today, and I wound up saying Rex and Effect because it was 3 guys. It was actually 4.
Okay.
And then I said, man, 4 guys, we can't call them one name. We have to call them something like, Funky 4 plus 1 more. So we were so used to like, rap groups need to get more than one name. A singing group, one name,
Right.
like TLC.
Right. Today.
Yeah.
Where did Rum Shaker come from, bro?
Rum Shaker actually came from my guys in Jersey. David Wynn and the guy who actually wrote my first rap for Rum Shaker. And when he wrote it, I wasn't satisfied with it. But that all I want to do is zoom, 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 zoom was in my rap.
Okay.
So I snatched that out. And do you remember the Dundada record?
Yes.
I need another cat, Super Cat.
Yeah.
Dundada. Do you know that was the same track, right?
Is it?
Yes. Boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Super Cat.
Yeah.
No, I said,
Oh, now he's on Super
I'm
Cat.
in
No, you talking about Kenny Dope. Now he's on Super Cat. Man, you were done. Da da.
Yeah. I thought it was a Super Cat record.
Boom.
Yes.
Doom.
Doom.
Yes.
I took that joint. I said, I'm jacking right now. This is Jack City. I took that record. I said, this is it. Because we had like 8 or 9 versions of Rum Shaker.
Right.
And I said, man, this is not it. I wasn't happy with it until I did that. I heard that in the hotel. I said, I'm going to steal this. This is this. And nobody know nothing. I'm like Ed Sermon.
Right.
Ed Sermon.
Yeah.
You'll never know what sample he took unless he played it for you.
Right. You dressed it up so much
Yeah,
it didn't even sound the same. Oh, my God.
That's what I did. And that's how we got Rum Shaker. And then Pharrell came in and just
That's
laced
what
my
a lot
rap.
of
He
people
wrote my
did.
stuff over. I said, I don't like this rap. See what you could do with it. Take it and change it. He took it. He's like, Yiggity, it's Teddy. Ready with
Pharrell
the one?
wrote that?
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I got the master with him saying it for me. He put it down on the
Yes,
track.
it's Teddy. Ready with the
1, 2. That's
Checker.
Pharrell. You don't hear that?
Wow. Look, mouth blown. Look, mind gone. How many prolific producers now worked with you and under you in Virginia?
Pharrell, Rodney Jerkins, Timberland, Radwala, wow.
See
Will Stewart.
Do you see how much this man is responsible for right here, man?
Bink Dog.
Bink Dog.
Who else?
The culture is amazing.
Chad.
Yeah.
Mike Phillips.
Jesus.
So
Christ.
many people been down. And Lauren. Dawson. Who else? There's a lot of people that came down that worked for me through Royal Band, like Troy Taylor and everybody. We connected. And I always say before me, you didn't know who a producer was.
That's true. Yep. Teddy
And
Riley in the building with us, man.
And it wasn't my choice because Johnny Kemp wanted to say, Teddy, you play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to say my name. It was like, all right, say it then.
Right.
And I couldn't deny it. Like I'm not the cause of Teddy Jam being made. It's Aaron.
Aaron did that?
Aaron's like, yo, you need to do a record with your name. I never brought up, put my name on it because, mind you, I always want to be behind the scenes.
There's so much stuff we didn't
So-
touch yet. More with Teddy Riley coming up on the Ed Lover Show with Moni Love. I mean, there is so much. It's the Ed Lover Show with Moni Love, man. I got Teddy Riley in the house. My mind is just absolutely blown right now. When did Guy end and Blackstreet began?
When my best friend got killed, Anthony B.
Okay.
Remember when
Yeah.
the New Edition guy
Yes.
altercation? When a lot of people don't know that it wasn't really the principals. It wasn't New Edition and Guy in a fight. It was the back line. It was the road crew. They all had a thing with setting up on the stage, and when all that stuff happened, you'll see it in the film.
Okay.
But when all this stuff happened, we still remained friends,
Mhm.
and because it didn't have anything to do with us, it was like a whole power struggle from the top, not
Mhm.
us. We were the artists, and that's all we thought about was being on stage. And I just I always clarify that every time. But let's get back to your question.
When the Guy end? What was
Okay,
what was
there
the
you go.
catalyst? Because you
When-
guys are on fire, man. That Future album was crazy.
Well, I felt like when my best friend got killed, I felt like it was my responsibility to do something
Hmm.
and make a difference because I lost someone that was very close to me. That was like the big homie
Right.
who looked out for us, me and Timmy. Anthony B.
Yeah,
We
of
used to be
course.
at Red Parrot
Yeah, of course I know
and
Anthony.
everywhere together. And when that happened, I said, you know what? I got to do something to show that I care.
Hmm.
And I said, I got to leave. I have to leave Guy for a minute. At that time, it was for good for me, because I got the call from Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And
We're going to talk about that in a
Yeah.
minute. But
But
let's stay on this
just to
Guy,
yeah, that's what
Blackstreet.
I'm
Then we're
giving you
getting the mic.
transition.
I
got
was
the
getting
call-
up the mic now.
I got the call from Michael after working with Michael. I worked back with Bobby Brown. Chauncey was singing the demos for Bobby Brown. So when Chauncey was singing the demos for Bobby
Well,
Brown,
how you find Chauncey?
Chauncey was signed under Damian Hall. And Chauncey was trying out to sing backgrounds for Guy, and I said, nah, they can't sing. So that was the whole crazy transition of he was down with Damian, and then they remember when we moved to Virginia.
Uh-huh.
We all moved to Virginia. Guy,
Okay.
everybody. So Damian had his label. He signed Chauncey, and they were down there. And then I guess Damian was like, "Yo, I'm dropping everybody." So everybody had to move back, and Timmy gave me a call. I'm saying Timmy. Chauncey gave me a call, and when Chauncey gave me a call, he said, "Yo, y'all got any work for me, man? I'll come clean the studio. I'll do whatever. I just don't want to go back to Jersey."
Right.
So I said, "Yo, you come work at the studio. I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be working with Michael, and you can come and, clean up the studio and stay in the studio if you don't have a problem with that." He said, "Man, I'll sleep on your floor. It don't matter." So he stayed at the studio while I was a year and 3 months with Michael.
Okay. Now, since we done brought Michael up, I was saving that, but let's get to it. When in the hell did Michael Jackson call you? Do you remember I remember one time I was in the studio with you and he called
were.
you.
It was,
Yes, sir.
Soundwork.
Yes, sir.
And I had borrowed Q-Tip's room.
Okay.
Remember that little room?
Yep.
He had a
Mhm.
residency in the studio. I was like, man, I ain't never heard of no residency. But he had a residency, and I asked him, I had all the rooms booked because remember I was doing Jane Child in this room.
Uh-huh.
I was doing
You
Make
did Don't
Sweat.
Want to Fall in Love for Jane
Don't
Child?
Want to Fall. Yeah,
Okay.
Jane Child. Then I did Make You Sweat for Key
Okay.
Sweat, and then I did Dog Me Out with the boom, boom,
Yeah.
the remix. So I was
Right.
doing a bunch of remix while I had that little room that Q-Tip let me borrow to do Michael Jackson. So that's the transition of me leaving Guy because I said, man, I got this big Michael project. He's going to need all my attention. All of this is for the right, cause. I got to leave the group because I'm doing that. That's the biggest thing that ever happened in my life was working with Michael.
Who called you?
Sandy Gallen. He just passed away a month ago.
Oh, wow. Rest in
It was
peace, Sandy
Michael's-
Gallen.
Michael's manager at the time. And Sandy called, and remember I had Harvey Alston.
Right.
And, that Wolfman Jack voice, he was like, who is this? And then he's like, oh, we're Michael's management, and we like to speak to Teddy. He's like, oh, you speaking to me? And then they started talking. He's like, so you're going to put Michael on the phone with Teddy? He said, yeah, we're going to put Michael on the phone with Teddy once you let us speak to Teddy. He said, no, let me hear Michael's voice. So he's like, let me hear Michael's voice first, and then I'll give the phone to Teddy. So when Michael got on the phone, he said hello with his voice.
Right.
And Michael, my manager, Harvey, turned into a girl. He was like, so he gave me the phone, and that's when we started talking.
Right.
So this was actually 2 weeks before the last Sky show at Madison Square Garden. You remember that?
Yeah. Okay. In New York City,
And
y'all.
we had everybody there. Mike Tyson, everybody was there, where I announced my leave. So I'm talking to Michael. Michael thinking I'm already in California when I spoke to him.
Uh-huh.
He said, are you here? Can we meet? And I said, no, I'm in New York. I have a concert in 2 weeks. He said, so can you come like the day after, like Saturday? I said, yeah, I can come. He said, okay. Because I had said, I need to make the music. I got to have records ready for you.
Right.
He said, okay. So from then on, he just stayed in touch with me until the week after he bought me a brick phone. He bought me the brick cell phone.
Right.
He wanted me to have communication to him wherever I'm at. So I get this brick phone. And I can remember that same week I bought a Ferrari.
Okay.
That same week, and I said, this was my mindset. I'm quitting this group. I'm going to live for myself. I'm going to just think about me and not think about everybody else. So I went and bought a Ferrari, and Michael bought me the phone. I had the phone in the car. And the day I planned my leave of Guy, I told my sister and my brother, Wayne Barrow, to prepare my room, prepare everything so that y'all take my stuff to the hotel. As soon as I announce my leave, I'm not going to the dressing room. I'm going straight to the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I announced everything, and I get in the car. I got the brick phone. Michael calls after my concert. When he called after the concert, he's like, how did it go? I said, man, it went wonderful, but I quit the group. He said, no. Why? I said, because I have to come and work with you. And I felt like I've lost my best friend. When I told him about that, he's like, oh, I understand. So are you still coming tomorrow? I said, yeah, I'm going to be on the first thing skipping. He's like, okay, great. I'm excited. So I'm on this plane, and I'm in first class. They got me in first class. First time I ever rode first class was when Michael Jackson
Oh, wow.
bought my ticket. So I'm in first class, and soon getting off the plane, they take us straight to the helicopter, not even through no baggage claim.
No,
they
nothing.
Grab our bags. It's first time I ever seen some VIP stuff like this.
Right.
Because we go straight get in a car, and we go straight to the helicopter. This is Michael's helicopter. All black, look like Air Force One.
It says MJ on the side?
No, it's no.
No
logo.
No
logo. It's
Okay.
all black.
Mike got a
So,
helicopter.
We going up. My first time riding a helicopter was Michael Jackson sending for me, and I get to the Neverland, and we land on his port, and we seen all these securities, everything, everybody coming out
Right.
from everywhere, and I'm thinking they coming out of the ground, and, cameras and everything is like this, and then the roads light up to show us where we gotta go, like the Wiz.
Oh, my
We have
God.
the yellow brick road, and we walking down that straight to the main house. Now the main house is amazing, has guest rooms and all that. So I spend the night. I'm in the room, looking at the room. Everything is all Moonwalker. Moonwalker soap, Moonwalker chocolate, Moonwalker toothbrush, Moonwalker bedspreads, everything. So I'm here bugging. Coming from the project.
Yeah.
I'm bugging. So I'm in this house and put my stuff down, and I'm looking at everything. They show me this room with all his everything. Gold records, plaques, Oscars, and everything. So I'm up there like touching everything, you know how we are. From
Yeah,
New York, we
absolutely.
gotta touch stuff. So I'm touching it. I go straight to his chess set, and it's gold and platinum. And I go to touch it, not knowing that this dude is coming out of a secret wall with the fireplace that turned around like this and touched my shoulder, and I fell to the ground. When I fell to the ground, all he did was laugh, and I said, "Wow, this is not a great way to meet somebody."
Right. Wait a minute. You had already spent the night in his house before you met
No,
him?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
I put my stuff down.
Okay. All right.
And then I go to the room to, finally get to meet the Wiz.
Right.
And he just knocked me to my feet. It's like, I was like, yo. So he's laughing. He's like, helping me up and laughing. And we finally just started talking. He's like, follow me. I want to take you so we can talk. So we go to the game room.
Uh-huh.
And he's got the game room, the movie theater, everything all in one building.
Right.
And we sat and talking there for a minute, and he started asking me all the things that I, like and what I like to do and what's my favorite color and all of this stuff. And not knowing that he's taking detail, letting his people know this is what he liked. This is what he liked to do. This is the color of his room. So he's building the studio, asking me all these questions, what type of equipment, what type of board I use. And I'm telling him everything that I like, and it's all being prepared at the studio. So I'm thinking, now we here 3 days. When we gonna do some music? So I started getting like, asking questions. Are we gonna get to the studio? He's like, yeah, we're gonna get there. And he have the cooking and everything for us. And it was the most incredible time of my life because I'm here being educated to someone, who's just, he has a heart for not just, people. He has a heart for everything. So his mind is always thinking and putting things together in the background. And it tripped me out when I walked into the studio. It was Larrabee out in L.A.
Uh-huh.
And everything that I had talked to him about was there. My favorite color, the bedroom, because I like to sleep in the studio. You know that.
Yeah.
So he had my bedroom set. He had his bedroom set down the hall. I'm down this hall. And he put a game room in there. I told him I like to play pool. They put a brand new pool table. They took the old one out, and Michael bought a new one and put it in there. We like pinball. And
Right.
He had all of that stuff in there. He had the company that gives him all the games, deliver everything, and design everything.
Wow. And what's the first record y'all did together?
It didn't even start from a first record. We actually got to play the demos. I played all my demos that I worked on in Q-Tip's room.
Right.
And the first record I played was Blood on the Dance Floor.
Okay.
The first track. We didn't have no songs. The first track was Blood on the Dance Floor. And then the second track was Joy.
Okay.
That we wound up giving to Blackstreet.
Okay.
So.
Wait a minute. We talking about You Give Me Joy.
Yeah.
Joy. You gave that to Michael Jackson?
Yeah. That was a Michael track.
Did he pass on it?
He gave it to us because he didn't want to put it on that album, just like he held Blood on the Dance Floor and Ghosts.
Right.
He put those on like 96.
Right.
He put those out then. So he kept a lot of my records. And the ones that made the album was because he couldn't resist. Like the records that, he had question marks about.
Right.
That's what he put to the side.
Please tell the people the ones that were on that album from the first meeting.
I did some of Black and White,
Mm-hmm.
and then Keep It in the Closet, Remember the Time, Jam, She Drives Me Wild, Can't Let Her Get Away, and I think that's it.
Wow, Teddy. How do you produce Michael Jackson? The same way you don't produce him the same way you produce everybody else?
Hell no. He taught me how to produce him because after I'd say maybe 6 or 7 days of working with him, he started getting a little frustrated because I wasn't telling him he's off key. I kept saying, yeah, okay, keep going.
Right.
I never had you off key. You can pick up the pitch or whatever. And he pulled me out of the room. I'm thinking I'm going to get fired. But I have to tell you the demo session.
Okay, tell me the demo session. Then we'll go
and
back
then
to
we'll go back to, him telling me, checking me about things. So the first time I played, Blood on the Dance Floor, Joy, and we got to another track, and he was just like, and he had this whole poker face, listen to my demo face, and no response until I played Can't Let Her Get Away. I played this beat, and he was just like, he couldn't hold it. He just, he started doing it. And then the fifth record was Remember the Time,
Right.
the track. When I played that, he said, okay, stop the music. Can I see you in my office? So I go back, and I'm thinking, I'm going to get fired.
Right. You don't like none of that.
This don't sound right. This don't feel right. So I'm going back, and he said, sit at the piano. So I'm thinking he's put me to a test.
Uh-huh.
So he said, can you play the chords to that track? I said, okay. So I'm making it look easy. So, he think I'm crazy piano player.
Right.
So I'm playing this thing, and he goes, stop. What is that first chord? I said, I don't know. He said, it's okay. I don't read music either. But that first chord, I've never heard in any of my records, of all my records I've ever been on. I've never heard that chord before. So my heart just calmed down, and I just said, man, God, you are so good for giving me that chord to play. You are so good, like, for real.
Who wrote the lyrics?
And Bernard Bell.
Oh, Bernard Bell is Regina
And
Bell's
I wanna
brother,
give
ladies and
shout-outs
gentlemen.
to my friend Bernard. I haven't gotten a chance to make it. I want everybody to keep my brother in prayer. He's been a little unable, for a little while now, but he's going through therapy and everything.
Okay.
And I just want everybody to keep him in prayer.
Absolutely.
But Bernard, this was later. This was like 3 months. We ain't actually, like Michael, for all his songs, he writes the melodies first.
Okay.
He don't call in the lyrics until later. He lives with the melody. And some of the words he'll put in, do you remember? And then everything else is mumbles. Young and innocent man. And everything else is mumbles. And that's how he always say to people, melody is king.
Yes.
And that's why you have some of the greatest writers out here. They follow that. They don't follow the lyrics until after the melody. And when we called Bernard to come and write the lyrics, he would have to follow the curves of the melody. Have to be followed.
Right.
Or Michael wouldn't like it. He'll change it and turn it into a mumble, back into a mumble, which is why you don't understand some of his lyrics, because some of it is really mumbles. It's like, and that's it. So we finally got Bernard down, and Bernard was following the curves, and I tell Bernard, don't take it to Michael until I hear it.
Right.
I may be in there messing around with the music, but interrupt me because I don't want you to get shut down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he did that. He came to me, and I said, yo, that's going to work. You got to make it edgy. Go back. He would go back, and he would just come up with something else, and I said, give me choices. So we gave Michael choices. He said, I like that. I like that. I don't think I would say that. And that's how we got it written.
Oh, my God.
And that was not the first song, though.
No.
The first track that we recorded that Michael wanted to, like, go full throttle with was Keep It in the Closet.
Okay.
Because after talking about that, when he brought me to the piano, I'm thinking it's a test, I played the chord, and then we got off of that. He said, okay, now that we heard what I feel like is going to be a part of the album, let's write something new. Because he wanted to see how we write together.
Right.
And his thing is no drum machines, no key, just a piano, him with some paper and a little dictaphone. That's how we wrote. So that was school for me.
Right.
But that's not how.
Right. That ain't how you do.
I ain't writing
Mike
no
took
lyrics.
you to school, bro.
He took me to school. So we're here, and I'm like, how am I going to pull this beat off on a piano? So he said, I think you should do something like this. Boom, 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 boom. And he's doing it just like that, but his snaps and everything is all impact. It's like hard. So I'm like, wow. I'm in amazed. Him just doing the beatbox and all of that stuff. So he did that, and I said, all right. And he said, keep that. Then he started doing it, which is why you hear his voice doing on the record, the actual record.
Right.
Because he liked what I did, and he wanted to make it in everything he likes to express with the voice. That's why he have all those lush backgrounds.
Yeah.
And all those things. And that was school for me. That was like college.
Man, dog. That man took you to college, bro.
Transition of him, Bobby Brown is in Virginia waiting for me with Whitney. The whole Virginia thinking that Whitney looking for houses and they're gonna move to Virginia.
Uh-huh.
They was just partying. They went to look at houses.
Right.
And then waiting for me to get back. Because Bobby called me. He said, man, I need you back here. I'm not working with anybody else until I work with you. So I got back. When I got back, I ain't had nothing for him because Michael took all the records. So I'm thinking in my head, how am I going to come up with songs for Bobby right now when I'm coming off this high?
Right.
So I wound up coming up with, at the same time, Q-Tip on my mind and Tribe Called Quest. So I made Getaway, which was Sex on a Platter.
Right.
I started moving the thing, moving the notes on that.
You're amazing,
and came up
man.
with Getaway.
Right.
And then we started doing Two Could Play That Game,
Uh-huh.
One More Night. And it just started coming up. And then I had Chauncey there, because he had, he was finished watching the studio. I was like, yo, no more watching the studio. We're going to teach you how to sing. We're going to get you in here to sing these demos.
Okay.
And that
so
was
you didn't really think too much of Chauncey as a singer at first?
No, I didn't. But until I started working with him, dude became, to me, the next Babyface.
Right.
So, yeah, that's how.
And where did you find the rest of the guys of Blackstreet?
Oh, he had to find them.
He found them?
Yeah, and I found Dave.
Where'd you find Dave Hollister?
Dave was in California while I was working on Michael. And Dave came with his demo, and I kept, putting him off until I told him, I said, yo, I'm definitely going to listen to your demo. Give me your CD. So I took a CD, and I went upstairs, and I didn't listen to it. So he caught me in the hallway. He was at the bar. He's like, yo, Ted, did you listen? I said, come here, man. I said, stay right here. I'm going to my room right now to listen to your whole demo. So my mind is still on Michael, I'm still on this high. So I'm going to listen to his demo. I'm listening to it. I was like, oh, this dude can sing. I went back downstairs, which is unlike a lot of people don't do that. They don't take the time. And that was the one thing that, I did where, I wanted to always see people have their dream because I had mine.
Mm-hmm.
So with him, I said, man, I ain't got nothing right now for you. But soon as I do, I'm going to call you. Same thing I did for Queen Pen. When I didn't have Joseph Stonestreet, who was the guy, we had to really get him out of the group because he wasn't for what we were for. He was much older. His mind was already set, he was doing, that type of stuff.
So there was a street with somebody else?
That was Joseph Stonestreet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I named the group. I gave Chauncey the name Black because I didn't like the way Chauncey, sound as an artist or stage name. So I said, you're going to be Black. And we're going to take the Stone off Street, and you're going to be Street. Black, Street,
Right.
That's what it is.
Right. You weren't supposed to be in the group.
I wasn't supposed to be in the group.
Okay.
I was just, because I still had, Guy in my heart.
Okay.
So I wound up just being in the group anyway because they just kept adding me. Like, come on, you sing this. And, Chauncey kind of, encouraged me because I had heard, an interview with Aaron, and he said, I'm going to be doing my solo album. So that's what gave me the out to go and do Blackstreet.
Okay.
He just said, I'm pursuing my solo album. I'm going to do it like this and da-da-da. So when I heard that interview, I said, cool, so I can go and do Blackstreet. And I wound up not signing a contract because I was the label.
Right.
So I wound up just being in, doing appearances, and it worked out where, I was on the album cover and all of that stuff and to make the fourth member. And that's when we put Dave in there and we got, before I let you go, one take.
Gee, that was one take?
One take. And we got Joy, and Levi was the perfect voice for Joy.
Yeah.
And then Chauncey was just like one of the partners, and he sung his songs. They wasn't the hits, but, he was just a big part of the group.
I love Love and Need a Love Today. What you did with that was amazing.
Yeah, man. That was something that we needed, too, because we wanted to do a gospel song, but they were like, man, I don't think we should go all the way spiritual because this is a secular album. Let's go inspirational. So that's what made us do
Stevie Wonder's Love's in Need of Love
Yeah.
Today. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal, man.
So that's how Blackstreet came about. I made Chauncey, he said, man, since this is sounding good, we wound up using a lot of the songs that Bobby didn't use, which was, Happy Home, and, because we thought that was going to be for Bobby.
Man, you killing me in here, Teddy. So Happy Home you gave that to Bob?
That was supposed to have been for Bobby. I had songs for Bobby. Like, I wanted to take him back to, like, as soon as I get home from work and that,
Right.
I wanted him to have, like, that.
Uh-huh.
Because Bobby was that artist that he can do anything on stage and girls just go crazy, and he know how to work a stage. So I was like, man, Happy Home would be perfect because he could do what Babyface did with, it was perfect for him, but we didn't get that far. It was hard,
Yeah. At the
Shoot,
same
on my
time.
prerogative, Bobby walked out of the studio on me because I wanted him to sing it that way. Same thing with Keith. He didn't want to sing my prerogative with,
Right.
Seeing last. That's his signature now.
Right.
Keith Sweat when you hear him.
Right.
And that was the thing that I was so proud to, feel responsible for creating a style for the artists as I work with them, like Tony Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he was that young Donny Hathaway with Kissing Games.
Right. Look at my executive producer, Krista. You ain't know Teddy did Kissing Game, did you? Yeah, I know you didn't. That's your jam, too.
Yeah.
I know you didn't.
So those are the things that gave me the signature that I had as a producer, because most producers, it's different today. You can't say a producer is a producer because
They're a beat maker.
they haven't created
Right.
styles. They haven't created artists, to sing, and build signatures. Like Aaron had a signature, but it was like Charlie Wilson, so we had to get him away from that
Right.
and get him in his own lane. And that's why people call him Aaron the Voice,
Right.
because he had something that was different from Charlie, different from Stevie and Donny Hathaway.
And then
It's
R.
more
Kelly
so.
came in right behind y'all.
Yes, he sure did.
And saw everything that you did and
He
mimicked
sure
it.
did.
And mimicked the entire
But
thing.
it was, you know what? I commend him on that. You know why? Because when someone is not fulfilling their responsibility to be that, somebody's got to do that.
Right.
And being that, Aaron was caught over here when he could have been all over here, it was just like, you can't make a person do what they don't feel if they're stuck in that.
Mm-hmm.
So R. Kelly did the right thing, and he came up and just.
Yeah, and from
Shot
there,
with
and
the
from
style.
the
He cut
style,
it to
and
your ball.
exactly your production
But I
style
have
and
to tell
everything.
you how that happened, though.
Okay, tell me.
You remember Barry Hankerson was supposed to have been he was our manager. He was guy manager.
Barry Hankerson, who
Yeah.
gave us
When we left,
R. Kelly
Yep.
and Aaliyah,
yep,
was married to Gladys Knight,
That's
was your
right.
manager.
was our manager. He was managing us, and we had departed. When we departed, he was salty about that, and he got R. Kelly, and that's why you hear the Teddy, I could be your teddy bear, and all
Right.
that. It was because Barry
Because
wanted-
Vibe was the first
Vibe
R.
was-
Kelly
was
public
Guy.
announcement. Vibe was nothing but Guy. You
Yeah.
got that vibe. When I first heard it, I was like, oh shit, Guy got another one.
Yeah. But truth be told, you know where R. Kelly came from.
Yes.
You know who discovered R. Kelly?
Who?
David Hyatt.
David Hyatt.
Yes.
David Hyatt, who was partners
That's
with Peter
my big
Thomas,
homie.
who
Yep.
gave us our first How Can I Be Down,
How
which
Can
was
I Be
my
Down?
birthday
Yep.
party in Miami. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was there.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
I got the
Tupac was there too,
I
as a
got
lot
the
of us
award.
did. Yes, sir.
But that's how R. Kelly, they got on what's that show they won $100,000.
Star Search?
Star Search.
Right.
And when they won that, that's when R. Kelly did, the group public announcement.
Public announcement.
And then I think he segued off because he was doing everything anyway.
Yeah.
He did all the backgrounds.
Yeah.
He did everything.
Yes.
So there was, man, I give it to him, man. He's such a talented guy, man. And he just reminded me so much of all in one. Marvin, Donny Hathaway, and Prince, because he did everything.
Yeah. How did
And-
you when you guys went on to do your second album with Blackstreet, how did you get Dr. Dre?
Because Dr. Dre
No
wanted to
Diggity.
be in the video of No Diggity. He told Jimmy, Jimmy wanted to release Money Can't Buy Me Love as the first single. And when that happened, I said, Jimmy, you need to think about it. All in 24 hours, he got a confirmation. Heavy D called him and said, Teddy is breaking the rules. He said, how? He said, he's got that record. Did you hear it? The No Diggity record? He said, yeah, you like that record? Heavy's like, yo, that record is a smash. That's one. And then I think it was Puff who went behind him. Same thing. He let Puff hit it.
Right.
And then he let Dr. Dre hear it. Dr. Dre is like, yo, when Teddy do the video for this song, I want to be in it. I said, nah, you can't be in the video if you don't give me 16 bars. I got to get 16 bars because we was trying to get Snoop for I Like the Way You Work. And Suge was like, I want 50,000. I was like, oh, hell no. And we just passed on him. Then I was like, yo, we can't get Death Row artists. I was like, yo, we'll just do it by ourselves. I'll get Queen Pen. I'll get a rap on. I'm going to get a rap on this. joint.
Right.
And what happened was I wound up telling Jimmy, so what do you think is the single now? He said, yeah, we get Dre on this. This is going to be the single. Now, here it is. All of this happened. I had a meeting with Suge. The meeting with Suge was about Death Row and Lil Man becoming one.
Oh wow.
And I was like, nah. I didn't return the call, but he came to the penthouse to meet with me. And when he came to the penthouse to meet with me, he said, man, if you can't beat him, join him. I said, what do you mean by that? He's like, we should put this thing together, man. I'll get Jimmy to put $5 million in your bank account right now. I said, man, I could get Jimmy to do that, but I won't do that. That's just not me. I don't just take money. I work for it.
Right.
So he said, man, think about it. He walked out with the cigar. Next thing you know, I heard the Toss It Up record. Sound like No Diggity.
Right.
Remember that
Uh-huh.
record? When that record came out, I was like, Jimmy, what we gonna do about this? He said, don't worry about it. I got that. I got it covered. Don't worry. Teddy, go to sleep. You can sleep. I said, okay. Next thing you know, that record got zip, and it was all No Diggity.
Yes, sir.
Across the board, across the world. And when Dr. Dre got on it, that's when it became, you
Wow.
know, the record of my dreams because I'm singing on the record. Now, how I'm singing on the record?
Yes. How are you singing on the
I
record?
was, you know how a gang, you get the little one, you just stick him out there and see if he take the front line. the group didn't understand the record. I'm not saying, and it's been some statements I made that they didn't like it. They didn't understand it. And so they were like, let him sing the second verse. Let him sing the first verse. I was like, okay, I'm going to sing the first verse. But when y'all hear this record and y'all don't take responsibility, you're just a part of it.
Right.
Will Stewart from Pure Blend, remember Pure Blend? Wrote the lyrics.
Oh, wow.
To my melody. Remember?
Uh-huh.
I started doing what Michael Jackson.
Right.
I started doing what Michael was doing. And I've been doing it because I did the actual melody for Before I Let You Go.
Okay.
And Leon Silvers wrote the lyrics. Remember Leon Silvers from the Silvers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Ted.
So when I did No Diggity, I had words in the air, and just like how Michael did it.
Right.
And Will Stewart made that record, those lyrics what they are.
Yeah, he certainly did.
And we all New York bound. So it was like one big family having him back and Teddy Blend and everybody is down there and we writing No Diggity.
Jesus. Big smash. Teddy Riley, I love you, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Oh, my God. And the movie,
wait, did you tell people our history?
we go back to the Apollo days when I was playing trumpet in a funk band.
Yep.
That's how far back Teddy and I go. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Before all
early
of this.
80s.
Early 80s, bro. Early 80s.
Yep.
Teddy Riley in the building with us, man. This Ed Lover podcast is being done in conjunction with Cigars International. Make sure you check out cigarsinternational.com for all your cigar needs.
This episode of Come On, Son, the podcast is produced and engineered by co-executive producers Kimana Paulus and Krista Hayes. Recorded at Mean Street Studios in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. This is an official Loudspeakers Network podcast. 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 Network podcast.